Benvenuto in Italia. We begin our tour tired, smelly, and exhilarated. The flower will be ever present as we travel throughout the country. Keep your eye on the flower so you don't get separated from our group. Verona is 2 hours and 30 minutes by bus from Malpensa Airport in Milan. The people of the north are more conservative than the people in the south, and driven and serious. When an Italian from the north tells you to be on time at a certain place, you'd best be there at that time. Verona is known as the City of Love. More to come on that.
Verona is our first landing place, which means that this is a time for us to all get to know how to handle ourselves in a foreign country. The basics will be covered by your group leaders on how to use an ATM, bancomat, the public restrooms, water closet, and you'll be off on your own for lunch and, of course, gelato.
Withdrawing euro from an ATM, you will want to choose an ATM that is connected physically to a bank, not a standalone model. It's much safer for your account and your funds. The maximum withdrawal from an ATM in Italy is 250 euro per day. This is, however, the best and most economical way to get euro, as the exchange rates are better there in Italy than at home. Pro tip, avoid racking up bank fees by making fewer large withdrawals than many small ones.
In Italy, you must be a paying customer to use a restroom facility in any restaurant, cafe, or shop. That means you will have to source a few available public restrooms in any particular city. Verona has a nice, clean restroom, but it does cost money. Yes, it is customary to pay to go pee. Pro tip number 1, always have some €1 coins handy. You never know when you might need them. And pro tip number 2, public restrooms are sometimes indicated with a WC on a sign. This stands for water closet.
The fresh market is known as Piazza delle Erbe and was once Roman Forum. Currently, it is used as a market for fruit, vegetables, and souvenirs. Of course, souvenirs. Recent excavations have unearthed Roman ruins in this area. You probably won't be thinking too much about any of that, since your mind will be distracted by the amazing taste of fresh, juicy fruit. Pro tip, do not touch the fruit or vegetables unless you plan on buying them. It is considered very rude to squeeze a medal in Italy, unless it's Juliet's, of course. But more on that later.
The Verona Arena is the third largest arena in Italy. It was built in the 1st century CE. It is the best preserved of the Roman monuments that we'll see in Verona. It is worth a visit if you have some extra time and an extra €10. It is one of the UNESCO sites on our tour. It is also one of the most prominent features in Verona. You can't miss it. As many of you know, amphitheaters were used for gladiatorial combat in a fight-to-the-death sequence. Nowadays, the Verona Arena is used as a venue for concerts.
Shakespeare often selected Italian settings for his plays. It is likely that he traveled to Italy at some point, as his plays reflect both diversity and precision, showing an understanding of the place and people. Even though the people were fictional, they were highly realistic to the region. Different cities in Italy were chosen for different plays and given distinct qualities and associations. Of course, Romeo and Juliet, one of his most famous plays, was set in Verona.
The courtyard and house of Juliet, aka Casa di Giulietta, was once inhabited in the 13th century by the Capello family, a name familiar to the Italian Cappelletti or Capulet. Although the story of Romeo and Juliet is fiction, many heartsick people have flocked to this home due to its resonating connections to the text. Today, people come from all over the world to the courtyard to rub Juliet's bronze breast for good luck and to leave a love note on the wall in hope of finding their true love. Come a skeptic, leave floating in Cupid's arms.
Depending on where we disembark the tour bus on this trip, we'll walk over the Adige River and have an opportunity to spy the Ponte Pietra. This bridge dates back to the 1st century BCE. The white parts of the bridge we'll see are the original. This was one of 2 Roman bridges that spanned over the river. We're also going to see another ruin if we can spy it. While crossing over the Adige River, we should try and sneak a peek at the Roman theater nestled into the hillside. This is another 1st century BCE relic of the Romans, a potential place to visit on your next Italian excursion. And finally, one of the most defining features of Verona is its substantial wall. You can't miss this either. The wall will be visible no matter our approach to the city. This wall has gone through many iterations, but what had its start with the Etruscans was expanded by the Romans during several periods. Its most notable construction period occurred in 264 CE under the leadership of Galliano. Worried about a barbaric invasion, he had the wall reinforced and expanded within 8 months. Again in the 13th century, the walls of Verona underwent another major restoration following 6 centuries of decay. Today, the walls of Verona remind us of another time when the wall was our last resort of safety.
The Academy of Fine Arts of Verona is a post-secondary school for studies in the visual arts. This was founded in 1764 by acclaimed painter Giambettino Signaroli. Accademia Signaroli is one of the oldest art academies in the world. Verona continues to be a bustling hub for creative types and those interested in the arts. For example, the 15th year of Art Verona was held this fall, whose contemporary art fair is a well-curated, globally patronized event. If contemporary art isn't your thing, you can slip back into time to the Castle Vecchio. Once a medieval castle, built on the location of an even earlier Roman fortress, was beaten up by the Napoleonic Wars, having housed Napoleon himself. The building was renovated by architect Carlo Scarpa and is now a magnificent museum of art, which includes works by Tintoretto and Veronese, among others. Speaking of Veronese, one of the most well-known artists from Verona was Paolo Veronese. Born Paolo Cagliari, and he painted massive works of allegorical, biblical, or historical subjects. He painted using rich colors and loaded his paintings with whimsical details and inventive narrative. Sometimes this got him into a little bit of trouble, as was the case with this painting of the Last Supper, commissioned in 1573 by the convent of Saints Giovanni de Paolo. Veronese had to defend his painting to the tribunal of the Holy Office on grounds that they included aspects that were not up to the holiness of this event. For example, you'll see a dog, a jester holding a parrot, and a servant with a bleeding nose. In the end, the tribunal resolved the question by suggesting that the theme changed to the feast in the house of Levi instead.
The richness of Verona is just the appetizer for the rest of our fulfilling trip to Italy, this beautiful, colorful, and richly historied country.
Ciao
Ciao for now.